Hey everybody, this is Jason, and today we're going to be talking about the urgency of eviction. So I see a lot of posts in our group and some of the other groups out there that really have some sort of scenario of, hey, listen, this person is 2 months behind and now they're late again on this one. They broke this payment promise to pay and everything else. And the first thing there's some variation of that. And the first thing I always think in my head is, why are they still in that home? And I think that a lot of landlords fall into the trap of physical occupancy over financial occupancy. They're scared to have a vacant unit and they're trying to, get that taken care of, hoping that will pull through. Maybe they don't want to go through the legal process. Maybe they feel bad for the tenant. Whatever the case may be, I can guarantee you that delaying that process is going to cause you far more harm than it is going to be, than it's going to help. So let me hit on some of the reasons on why I think that is. And there's probably more reasons. So, hey, listen, for those of you who are watching, if there's other reasons, things you can think of, things you can add to this, this isn't going to be super exhaustive, but a couple of things that's really come to mind. Please add in the comments below, put your input in, let us know what your experience is as well. So I would say the first and foremost reason is money. Every day that person's in there not paying you rent, it's costing you money. And if they sit there a month, 2 months, 3 months down the road, if you would have moved with your eviction process at the front end when you're supposed to, that may have been a month or 2 months that you could have had somebody else in that home paying you actual rent. So it is mitigating your financial loss by processing that eviction in a timely manner. I would say another component of this is property protection. Generally speaking, if somebody is in your home and they're not paying rent, it's very likely that there may be some damage occurring of some sort or another, whether it's unauthorized occupants, pets, whether they're just sitting around all day, because they're not working, or whatever the situation is. It's very likely that there's more damage going on. So, do you want to give them the extra 2 months to cause damage? It is what it is. There's probably going to be some damage, but how much time do you want to give them on top of not paying rent to destroy your home? Another component to think about is fair housing issues. So I am big on, if you've watched any of our videos, I am big on process and procedure and consistency. And the reason being is I have worked in the multifamily industry and own my own property management company for most of my career. Property management, single family homes, and then when I relocated, got into multifamily. And the one thing that is very prevalent in both of those scenarios is fair housing issues, and that's basically treating everybody the same way or applying the same rules to everybody, especially people in protected classes. As defined by the Fair Housing Act, but and state and local and all that fun stuff. But I'm big about consistency, because the best way to avoid that is having a process and executing it in a consistent way. So think about it like this. Think about, let's just two scenarios: single white male, a white female mother, and the single white male, you give them 3 months before the eviction. You don't file. You keep trying to work with them. It doesn't really work out. You end up having to evict them, and that's fine. Single white female, first month late, you evict them. Well, there could be a complaint there that you are discriminating based on familial status because she is a single mother, and especially if this person knows that the white male with no children, that they got a lot more time out of that situation. Or insert any protected class. I just threw something out there. It could be anything. But the point is if you're treating them differently, then maybe you're not intending to, but you can be, that complaint could be very valid. So be careful with that. Have a process and enforce it consistently. And who knows what that is? That's up to you. But My process is the first month, I do actually give them a grace period. I think it's 4 days. It's due on the 5th, and on the 6th day, they get a $50 late fee, $5 a day after that. But on that 6th day, if they haven't paid, I'm giving them in Kansas is a 3 day, in Arizona it's a 5 day. It depends on where you're at, but that notice to quit or pay or quit. And then if they do not pay within that period of time, I submit that file over to the attorney consistently every single time. Now, what I will do is, if there, as part of my process, is I will give them one chance to cure that. So if it's been sent over to the attorney, I will give them one chance to clear that entire balance plus the attorney fees that I now have to pay, but only one time. If that happens again, that's it. I won't accept money. They're out of the house. And be quite honest with you, it doesn't happen very often, because really, once I file that first time, they usually know that I mean business, and I'm gonna follow the rules, my rules to the T. And that is another good reason to do this. I mean, you don't have to be landlords, we don't have to be jerks about things, but we can be stern and professional, and I highly recommend it, because the thing is you're providing housing, you've made some agreements, you're going to cover the maintenance and your obligations on there. They have obligations too, and you can be sure that if you weren't meeting your obligations, you would get drug out all over the place. So there's nothing wrong with expecting them to meet their obligations, and when they don't, following the appropriate actions, which in this case is notice to quit. You don't pay, you're out. So that is what I have. Just a quick touch on some of the reasons on why I think keeping somebody in does more harm than good. And actually, let me just throw one more in there. The emotional stress of it all. Now you have this home that you're paying mortgage on, you have expenses, you have no idea what's happening in it, or maybe you do. And then you wait another month, and then another month. And, by the third or fourth or fifth time, you're still surprised that they're not following through on their commitments, that they failed to hit their promise to pay, or they paid you short, or whatever the situation is. Don't do that to yourself. You should find the right tenant that works for you, that is going to follow through on their side of things. And if that is not the right person, or not following if they're not following the terms of the lease agreement, or not following the rules, if they're not following their obligations, get them out of the property as soon as possible. You will sucks on the front end, but you will thank yourself later. So that is what I have for this video. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, make sure to leave comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. This is Jason.